Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here at the historic Greenwood Cemetery in Louisville, Kentucky. This cemetery is one of a couple of historic African American cemeteries in the city, and unfortunately, right now it's pretty abandoned. And there's two reasons why I'm here. Number one, I wanted to document the cleanup that people are doing in the cemetery, and number two, I actually have a great grandmother who is buried here, so I wanted to see if it was possible if I could find her grave here. I know it's going to be kind of hard because you can kind of see where they started to clear out the grass and the tall weeds and stuff, but there's also a big area of the cemetery that's still covered with grass and weeds, so it's going to be kind of hard to find her grave because number one, I don't know where she's buried, and number two, it's just so much junk out here. So a little bit about the Greenwood Cemetery. It's a pretty big cemetery. It's in West Louisville, Kentucky, and this is actually not too far from where I grew up. This cemetery was notorious. Us kids, we used to always wonder about this cemetery, and it would always spook us out because we ride our bikes past the cemetery, and you see the graves, and you know how kids are. But I also have an uncle who's buried over here, and so yeah, I wanted to find that grave as well. I actually know where his grave is already, but it's my great grandmother whose grave is what I'm really looking for. So as you can see, there's a lot of volunteers that have been coming here and mowing the grass. So you can kind of see, if you look here, turn this exposure down. If you kind of look to the left, you can see where they started cutting the grass. And if you come back over here to the right, you can see where the grass is still very, very high. All right. And the cemetery has been neglected for a long time. You can kind of see these graves right here. Don't know what happened there. Looks like they fell over. But this cemetery is smack dab in the middle of the hood. So if you're going to come and explore, I advise you to be very careful. Like I said, I grew up here, so I'm familiar with the area. But like I said, I'm looking for my grandmother's grave and my uncle's grave. It's gonna be kind of hard to find because I don't know where it is. Well, I was gonna try to walk around a little bit.
And make sure you just be careful, baby, because the possums and stuff.
Yeah, she told me.
Yeah,
snakes.
Yeah. And in the little holes and stuff, because that's where they'll dig a hole, and sometimes they'll run out.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's a grave, it's a graveyard site. They so used to, and probably with the trees and stuff. Now that they done cut the grass, it's probably like you done invaded their space. So now they running to another location and stuff.
Oh yeah. Another World War II. Actually, it's a World War I. You can kind of see how that grave is all bent up. This is Willie Bradley, Kentucky Private Company D 515, engineer, World War I, 1894 to 1962. And for the most part, these are all African American servicemen. So a lot of grass. They actually just cut the grass, so there's a lot of weeds. Coming over to this area by the trees. It says mother, sister, Narcissus Page, 1935-1964. This is an interesting gravestone. It says Mary Washington, born. Oh, that's kind of hard to see. I can see Mary Washington. I can see born March 1863 is when she died. It looks like. Wow, that is an old stone right there. There's another World War I. So I've met a couple people since I've been out here who kind of told me some information about the cemetery. As you can see right here, you have a gravestone that's kind of buried with the grass, and they said these rows right here are all tombstones, but they're all covered with grass. So so that's kind of sad. A lot of servicemen and women. You can see this stone right here. Look at that. I think it says Isaac Hines. and Ruth Hines. Louis Malone. You can just see how massive this cemetery is. And I actually thought in my mind that I was going to be able to come here and just magically find the tombstone I was looking for, but that ain't gonna happen. And I commend the volunteers for attempting to clean up. But as you can see, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I was told by one of the volunteers that I just met that there are some snakes and groundhogs. So she told me to be careful as I'm walking around because they're known to jump out at people. Another serviceman. You kind of see down here in this hole, that's probably one of those groundhog holes. It says Lou Madra Anderson, 1919-1970. She kind of spooked me out when she told me about those snakes, 'cause now I'm kind of scared. So, my goal was to come here, like I said, to find my great-grandmother, whose name is Lizzie Morton. And since there's no directory for the cemetery, that's probably going to be hard to do. And another thing is, as you're walking along a lot of sinkholes, because the young lady was telling me that since a lot of these graves are older and people were buried in, they were buried in pine boxes, and when those boxes decay, they cause a sinkhole in the ground. So trying not to fall in one. That would be terrifying. To fall into a sinkhole in a grave. You can see back here there's like a little section back here. But you can kind of see off in the distance how high the grass is. And underneath this grass is all graves. It's actually a pretty headstone. There's one headstone way back there in the bushes. But yeah, this is Greenwood Cemetery, Louisville, Kentucky. Today is Thursday, June 27th. I guess I should say this. I'm not a cemetery freak, if that is such a thing. I do not like cemeteries. My purpose for being out here was to try to find the grave of my grandmother, great-great-grandmother. This one says Willie Caldwell, Kentucky, private, 13 Company, 159 Depot Brig, World War I, February 24th, 1895, May 11th, 1968. Thank you for your service. So this is an African American cemetery, or majority African American, located in the west end of Louisville, Kentucky. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm not stepping into like a snake hole or something. I got shorts on. I don't want to get bit. I don't think I'm gonna find my great-grandmother's grave. I mean, look at how high this grass is. You see that? And there is no directory for this cemetery. For the most part, it is all volunteers who come down and they post the graves onto findthegrave.com, and that's pretty much how this place is cataloged right now. But look at that. Isn't that sad? William Wilson, Kentucky, private, U.S. Army, World War II, May 25th, 1910, March 22nd, 1968. There's a grave back here underneath. Underneath this tree. Somebody left some boots. So you can see right here we're on a hill, and up here you have graves, so that's kind of scary. It looks like somebody's been digging over here. I guess if I had like a hint or a landmark or something, I could possibly find my great-grandmother. This one says Lily D. Downs, December 24, 1920, April 21, 1964, wife. This one is John Devers, Kentucky, private first class, Company K. 24th Infantry, World War I, September 2nd, 1893, June 18th, 1964. Looks like you got a firefighter here. Colby Jacoby Summers. So yeah, as I was saying, excuse me, I grew up around the corner from here, so when you're a kid, you don't really realize the importance of a place like this, but now that I'm an adult, I know a little bit about my history. It's kind of sad to see this place in this state. But yeah, this cemetery was abandoned in around 1998. There's a little garage here. Looks like it used to be a restroom, maybe. It doesn't work. And I'm just like in the front. I haven't even made it to the back. But what I think I'm about to do is I'm going to get in the car and kind of drive around a little bit. This says no farewell words were spoken, no time to say goodbye. You were gone before we knew, and only God knows why. This looks like a 5-year-old boy. And this is also a 5-year-old boy. So maybe they were twins. Yeah. No, they weren't twins. One was born on the 18th of April. The other one was born on August 8th. This grave right here looks very well taken care of. Alright, so this section over here has some older graves, as you can see. This one says Emma Bryant, 3/17/1868. So she was born 3 years after slavery ended. That one's kind of hard to read. But yeah, I'm gonna hop in the car real quick, and that way I can cover more ground, and I'll be right back. Something stinks. Like something dead. Oh my God. Hope there ain't a body back here or something. Oh my God. It smells terrible. No pun intended. But for real, there is something that's rank over here. It might be in that garbage bag. I'm not touching it. You can see all these graves in the grass. So if my great grandmother is buried here, she could be anywhere under this grass. I used to be a lot more adventurous when I was a kid. But when that lady told me about the snakes back here, I don't know, I kind of started thinking twice about, do I really want to step in this grass? I mean, look how deep it is. As you can see the little angel back there. Creepy. And way back there you can see graves. So you can see how tall the grass is.
Sync has connected to your phone and is reminding you that 911 assist is set to off.
There's graves back there. And on the other side of these trees over here are actually houses. So, like I said, I grew up around the corner, and you could jump these fences and go right into your backyard. So this is my uncle, William Earl Bibb. He was actually murdered when I was just an infant. So, he has a small tombstone there. Johnny Davis, Private Army. Look at this grave. You can see it's covered with leaves there. James Bailey, Corporal, U.S. Army. Isaac S. Jackson. Kentucky. Tech 4, U.S. Army, World War II, 1913, 1968. So as you can see, looking at the graves, looking at the grass, it's kind of hard to find any. If you're out here looking for somebody, it's not going to be easy, because the grass is so high, as you can see, and it really isn't safe to walk back there. You might trip over a grave and twist an ankle or something. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back. Today's Thursday. I'm going to come back Saturday, and there's a group of people in the neighborhood who are cleaning up the graveyard. I'm going to volunteer, and hoping to get some more footage then. Maybe I could find the grave I'm looking for once more grass is cleared out. So, but thank you all for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't know if I'm gonna be doing more cemetery videos, but definitely gonna have more content coming up. So y'all have a good day.